Good morning, Facebook fam, and welcome to Tuesday. It's going to be a terrific Tuesday. Why? Because you're going to choose to make it such, no matter what comes your way. So, you guys have heard about my cruise and how excited I am. You know, I do that every year, and what a wonderful cruise it was last month. But there's always one part of my cruise vacation that I do not look forward to. It's when I leave the comfort of my home, go to the airport, and get on the plane. Like, I do not like flying. I fly because it makes more sense. I mean, vacation is not going to be enjoyable if I go on a cruise and then have to drive 18 hours home, right? So, of course, I fly because I can get there a lot easier. It makes more sense. But I do not like flying. And so, you know, when I get on the plane, I usually have something to listen to and I tune out. I don't want anybody talking to me. And it's not to be rude. It's just because I honestly, when I say I don't like flying, I have a fear of flying. Like, I always think of the worst case scenarios and it's horrible. So in order to get to where I want to be, I have to hit that in between. That in between your comfort zone, which is home, and your desired outcome, which is the cruise, for me. What do you do in that in between? Because that in between is so hard sometimes. It's the space between you realizing what you were called to do and you actually achieving that calling. It's that space between you having that dream and you executing that dream. And sometimes that space seems to last forever. And your fear overtakes and all the worst case scenarios go on in your head because you're like, man, I see or I know where I want to be, but this space I'm at right now, it's not comfortable. I've left the comfort zone of my home behind. And I'm at this really, really long, uncomfortable space because I have to be there in order to get to my desired outcome. Some of us get stuck in the in-between. We never make it to the desired outcome because the in-between overwhelms us and we get stuck. Or we never get to the in-between because we're so afraid of it that we never leave the comfort of home. So understand what I'm saying to you. And let me give you this scenario one more time. In order for me to leave home and to have gotten on that cruise that I wanted to be on so bad, I had to hit that in between. I had to get on that plane, even though, like I told you, it has all my fears. I've got all the worst case scenarios. But in order to get to my desired outcome, I had to handle that in between with all the fears, with all the obstacles, with all of the what ifs. I could have stayed in the comfort of my home, but then I would have never made it to my desired outcome. I could let the in-between overwhelm me and never be able to make it to my desired outcome. So whatever God has called you to do, whatever your dream is, whatever your vision is, don't let the in-between trap you. Know that you have to handle that in-between to get to your desired outcome. And the lessons that you learn in that in-between will make that desired outcome even more desirable. When you can get to that outcome and say, hey, you know what? I made it through that in-between, and here I am. Life is like that, guys. You're going to have dreams. You're going to have desires. You're going to have things that you know God has put in you. But what happens is you think that, okay, here I dreamt it. It's going to happen. No. You have to go through that in-between. That in-between strengthens you. That in-between gives you faith. That in-between tells you, hey, you know what? You can do this. Because that desired outcome, man, do you realize if I had not gotten on that plane, I would have not had my cruise? I don't even want to think about that. So I guess what I'm challenging you to do today is know that there's going to be an in-between. But if you continue to push through the in-between, if you silence the voices and keep pushing on, your desired outcome is right on the other side. All right, guys, have a blessed day. Please, please, please be good to each other. Bye.